In the late summer of 1969, an unsettling shadow crept over the San Francisco Bay Area, a mystery that would soon confound investigators and terrorize a community. The figure responsible came to be known only as the Zodiac Killer, a name derived from a series of cryptic letters and symbols that taunted police and the public alike. Over the course of several years, this elusive killer would strike with chilling precision, leaving behind a trail of terror, cryptograms, and unanswered questions that persist to this day.
I've never seen one like it.
The first confirmed murders attributed to the Zodiac occurred on a foggy night along a desolate highway. A young couple was ambushed in a secluded spot, their lives brutally cut short without any hint of motive or escape route for the assailant. In the aftermath, local residents were gripped by a sense of vulnerability. An invisible menace could be lurking just around the corner. Soon, newspapers began receiving letters signed by someone using the moniker Zodiac, each missive containing bizarre symbols and cryptic messages. These letters, both a challenge and a boast, transformed a local crime wave into a national sensation. As weeks turned into months, the Zodiac Killer's activities escalated. Victims began to appear in different areas around Northern California. Each crime scene was marked by an eerie precision, a deliberate placement of evidence, an intentionally taunting note left behind. Law enforcement scrambled to decipher the letters, hoping that the ciphers concealed within them might reveal clues to the killer's identity or next move. However, despite extensive analysis by experts and the collective efforts of amateur codebreakers, many of these puzzles remain unsolved, adding yet another layer of mystery to the case. The letters themselves were a study in contradiction. On one hand, they showcased a disturbing confidence, an almost gleeful relish in the macabre. On the other, they revealed a mind obsessed with attention and notoriety, someone who craved the public stage. In one letter, the Zodiac declared that he had claimed 37 lives, though only a handful of these murders have been conclusively linked to him. This boastful tally contributed to the mythos surrounding the case, as every headline, every news segment, and every police press conference further entrenched the killer's infamy. One of the most chilling aspects of the Zodiac case was the randomness of the targets. Unlike many serial offenders who fixate on a specific type of victim or operate within a narrow geographical range, the Zodiac appeared to select his targets without clear pattern. The seeming randomness increased public anxiety. No one felt safe, whether they were driving along a lonely highway or simply going about their daily business in an urban center. This unpredictability meant that traditional profiling methods often fell short, leaving investigators to grapple with a puzzle that defied easy categorization. Behind the scenes, detectives from multiple law enforcement agencies collaborated on what would become one of the most extensive and prolonged investigations in American history. Countless hours were spent poring over evidence, revisiting crime scenes, and re-examining witness statements. Despite these Herculean efforts, the Zodiac Killer managed to slip through the cracks of conventional investigative techniques. In a twist that frustrated both the authorities and the families of the victims, crucial pieces of evidence would sometimes vanish or fail to corroborate key details. The lack of a definitive motive or a clear connection between the disparate murders only deepened the mystery, leaving a trail of leads that led to dead ends. As the case unfolded, the Zodiac Killer's communications began to take on an almost literary quality. His letters were peppered with references to popular culture, riddles, and mathematical puzzles. Some theorists speculated that his fascination with ciphers and codes was an attempt to elevate his crimes to an art form, a way to control the narrative of his infamy. Others believed that the cryptic messages were meant to challenge a society that he saw as complacent, daring them to unravel the enigma he had created. In both cases, the killer's writings served as a constant reminder that he was always one step ahead, a ghost in the digital age long before computers and the internet became household staples. Public interest in the Zodiac case soared in the 1970s as news outlets relentlessly pursued every new development. Investigative journalists, amateur sleuths, and even seasoned law enforcement officers found themselves drawn into a labyrinth of clues and contradictions. The case quickly evolved into a cultural phenomenon, inspiring books, films, and countless online forums dedicated to piecing together the evidence. Despite the passage of time, the allure of the Zodiac mystery never waned. Each new tip or unexamined piece of evidence rekindled hopes that the killer might finally be unmasked, even as skepticism and frustration grew among those who had spent years chasing an ever-moving target. One of the enduring puzzles of the Zodiac case is the identity of the killer. Over the decades, numerous suspects have been named, some based on circumstantial evidence, others on questionable forensic links, but none have withstood rigorous scrutiny. The possibility that the true Zodiac Killer might have been someone entirely unexpected continues to fuel debate. Was he a loner, living on the fringes of society, whose dark inclinations were hidden behind a veneer of normalcy? Or was he a professional with the resources and connections to manipulate the investigation, using his knowledge of law enforcement procedures to his advantage? These questions, as elusive as the killer himself, remain at the heart of the case. The psychological impact of the Zodiac murders on the community was profound. For many, the killer's bold and publicized taunts undermined a basic sense of security, turning familiar routines into potential life-threatening encounters. Families began to scrutinize every shadow and question every stranger's intentions. The pervasive atmosphere of fear and suspicion extended well beyond the immediate area of the crimes, leaving an indelible mark on the cultural memory of the era. Even as years passed, the specter of the Zodiac lingered, a reminder that the boundary between safety and chaos can be alarmingly thin. In the decades since the first murder, the Zodiac case has continued to evolve. Advances in forensic science and digital analysis have provided new tools for investigators. Yet these modern techniques have yet to unlock the secrets hidden within the killer's enigmatic letters. The case has become emblematic of the limitations of our understanding, a puzzle that resists resolution even in the face of technological progress. Every so often, a breakthrough is heralded in the media. A new analysis of a cipher, a re-examination of old evidence. But these moments of hope are often short-lived, as subsequent investigations fail to yield a definitive answer. For the families of the victims, the enduring uncertainty is a source of deep and unrelenting pain. They continue to live with the loss of loved ones and the knowledge that, somewhere, the man responsible remains free, a ghost whose identity is concealed behind layers of deception and misdirection. Their grief is compounded by the public's fascination with the case, which at times feels more like a spectacle than a tragedy. In a society that is both horrified and captivated by the macabre, the Zodiac case stands as a stark reminder of the human cost of an unsolved mystery. The legacy of the Zodiac Killer transcends the specifics of the crimes he committed. His twisted game of cat and mouse has left an indelible mark on popular culture and on the collective consciousness of a nation. The blend of terror, intellect, and audacity embodied in his letters has become a benchmark against which other unsolved cases are measured. In this way, the Zodiac enigma is not merely a cold case from a bygone era. It is a living, breathing mystery that continues to inspire debate, research, and creative reinterpretation in every medium from literature to film. Even as time moves inexorably forward, the question remains: who was the Zodiac Killer? The search for answers endures in dusty archives, online forums, and the minds of those who refuse to let the case fade into obscurity. New theories emerge with the passage of time, some pointing to hidden connections and others to a single, elusive suspect who managed to evade capture. Yet each theory is met with equal parts intrigue and skepticism, as the puzzle pieces refuse to fit together neatly. The very fact that this killer remains unidentified after all these years only adds to the dark allure of his legacy, a mystery that beckons to be solved, even as it defies resolution. In the final analysis, the Zodiac case is a study in contradictions. A killer who craved notoriety yet managed to elude the spotlight of justice. A series of crimes that were as random as they were meticulously planned, and a public that remains both horrified and hypnotized by the enigma. It is a case that challenges our assumptions about safety, justice, and the nature of evil itself. Until new evidence emerges or a breakthrough in deciphering the cryptic messages is achieved, the Zodiac Killer will continue to haunt the collective imagination. A chilling reminder that some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved, locked away in the shadows of history. For those who have followed this case over the decades, The allure lies not only in the gruesome details or the intellectual challenge of the ciphers, but in the poignant human tragedy that underpins it all. Behind every unsolved murder, every taunting letter, and every headline, there is a story of lives disrupted and a community forever altered. The Zodiac enigma is a testament to the enduring complexity of the human condition.